Muted.
for the last 7 months. It has slowed some of the roadway items that we were working on, including the grading and some of the paving operations. We've been able to continue to work on the bridge operations. The contractor has approximately 25% of the project, used approximately 30% of the time, and he has completed approximately $1 million worth of work. I'm showing some of the bridge work, which is showing the substructure of the Bridge 9. This is the bridge that parallels 65, and they've been able to continue to work on these sub during the rain events and continue to move and make great progress thus far compared to where they started in the summer months. One of the new components that have taken place in the last month is the placement of girders, which we call some of our superstructure activity. They've been placing girders, and the good thing about the placement of the girders, they have not been able to interrupt traffic patterns. It's been on off-peak times, and they've been able to place these girders in the location over streets, and I don't think there's been slowdowns on the roadway. These are some shots of the girders that have been set in the last month. This is another view of those girders. These are the girders for Bridge 9. I'll show you what Bridge 9 is when we show one of the renderings. It is the flyover bridge that goes from downtown Birmingham to 65 South. Another component that has started is placing walls. This is the wall that will, along 11th Avenue, where 11th Avenue will become the exit point from downtown for the 3 ramps that leave downtown. These walls were aesthetic walls that will work with the community, the Fountain Heights neighborhood to design this. They were part of the design process. This gave them an opportunity to create a new gateway into the Fountain Heights community, and we have coordinated with them in these efforts. I love the special panel, as you see here, that was designed by the community. Now let's move into some of the traffic that are occurring on the project. This is a current map of some of the impacts that are occurring. The color code is red are permanent closures. These streets will not back up, and I'll explain that on the next slide. The
Muted.
I just showed. This is the ramps coming from downtown, and they're by way of 11th Avenue, so 11th Avenue will be closed at a point, and 11th Avenue will become the ramps exiting downtown, 65 northbound, 65 southbound. This is Bridge 9 that I spoke of earlier. This is the ramp that they're working on currently, and 59 southbound. You can also see these streets in this area are closed, and they're closed because we're building a new ramp that would tie to 17th Street exit. Along 6th Avenue North, this area, some of the streets are closed also because this is where the new ramp that will connect to 65 South and the ramps coming from 59 North will tie to 65 South and to 6th Avenue North. To highlight some of the temporary detours, We still have a closure for the 12th Court Bridge that is being constructed. We have a detour by way of 15th Avenue underneath the interstate and around by Tuggle School. 16th Street ramp is also closed, and we anticipate it being closed for the next near period too. The detour for it is by way of Finley Avenue under the interstate back to 16th Avenue. There is a closure on 17th Street currently and 9th Avenue. We anticipate this will be open pretty soon with the contractor. If everything goes well within the next week, this will be open back up to traffic. We still have our closure at 28th Street. This is for a utility relocation that's occurring. We anticipate in the near future this will be open back up also. The 31st Street Bridge is still under construction, and we're having to detour around it, as we stated before, by way of 12th Avenue Bridge. That's the detour that's being used currently for that location, as we spoke in our previous update. Let's talk about some of the near-term traffic impacts, and we're calling near-term changes that will take place in the next 3 weeks to a month time frame. As you look at the overall map, you'll see some of the things that I mentioned before are off the map. They have been removed, and that is 17th Street is closed. The 28th Street is now open, but you can see that 31st is still closed, 16th Street ramp is still closed, and the 12th Court Street Bridge is closed. And all the permanent locations will stay the same as we currently mentioned. To highlight that, the new closure that will take place within the next month will be 9th Avenue at 18th Street. The intersection there, that's some utility work that must take place, and you'll see a closure there. We will send out a news alert for that when that occurs. And as I mentioned, 28th will open, but we'll have to close 11th and 29th Place to perform some utility work in that area in the next month. As far as interruptions to traffic, the contractor will not be working on any of the interstate systems or any four-lane highways during the holiday period from the 23rd through the 26th of December, and from the 30th through the 1st. So the contractor may be working underneath on some of the local streets, but there will be no closures on the major routes. So that ends our presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have at this time. Jonathan, you're going to facilitate those questions, or how do you want to do that? Do we have any questions from anyone?
Hey, this is Jeff Eliasoff at Channel 13. I wonder if you can hear me, sir.
I can. Go ahead. Tell me your name again.
Excellent. Jeff Eliasoff, Channel 13.
Yes. Go ahead.
Thanks so much for helping. I guess if you can, without the benefit of the slides necessarily, just give me the short-term bullet point as best you can over the next couple of weeks of what's going to be affected, what people specifically can expect in terms of a slowdown here or there. I understand there's no major work being done on the holidays. I see that. But, you know, going forward, say into January, where can people expect some inconvenience?
Well, the contractor will continue to set girders, and there will be periods of time but there may be some minor traffic delays, especially at night when they are setting the girders and they have off-peak times that they are permitted to make lane closures, one-lane closures after 7 o'clock, and then later on in the night they can have a 2-lane closure on the interstate. That would be the most significant closures on the interstate system. All other times, the contractor primarily won't be working. I don't think we'll see any real significant traffic delays until later on in the year.
In the year. Okay.
Spring.
Okay.
Now, we still have those closures that we mentioned at 16th Street ramp. It is still closed. So until we can get it open back up to traffic, and the weather has hindered our ability to get it open back to traffic. As soon as we get an opportunity to pave that, we will have it open to traffic.
Okay. And the last thing, I guess, just to be clear, at the very beginning, you gave interesting statistic. You're about 25% finished with the project. Is that about right? And if that's the case, what is, I know engineers don't like to answer these questions, but TV people always ask them, when might we really see the end of this project?
Well, the contractor has a drop-dead date of August 31st, 2018. And if he's not finished, he will lose an opportunity at a significant bonus.
Okay.
When I say significant, I mean,
Jarvis, can you clarify that you're talking about this project and not the full completion of the replacements?
Sure. I'm talking about the completion of Phase 2, which is the reconstruction of the route interchange at 65 and 5920.
Okay. So for the layman,
31st deadline with the opportunity to receive a bonus of $10 million.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I'll take a piece of that. So it's a year and a half, essentially, till the whole thing is completed if it's on schedule. And there's every indication, yes. Okay.
Phase 2, just Phase 2.
All right. And then what happens thereafter? Help me with Phase 3 and et cetera.
Phase 3, we still have to reconstruct the interchange at Red Mountain Expressway and to demolish the CBD bridges, the elevated section downtown, and reconstruct those bridges.
Okay.
That
so
will
again,
not be finished until sometime in late 2020.
All right. So the 2018 deadline is, again, just so my viewers can understand, the 2018 drop-dead deadline is for specifically what?
The reconstruction of the ramps at the interchange at I-65 and I-5920.
Okay. Excellent, sir. Thank you. I know other people, I'm sure, are anxious to get in. I appreciate your time very much.
You're welcome. Feel free to call us if we can be of other assistance.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else from the media? Jeff, see you on here. And as I said, there's a couple of callers who aren't identified by name. Jeff, do you have any questions?
I'm Jeff. So I think he's answered mine.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah, you called in on a different line. Got it there. Does anybody else from the media have any other questions? Okay, and the recording of this will be made available again this afternoon for those who weren't able to attend with us.
Thank you.
We'll wrap up.
Okay. Thank you all for attending, and we'll be back in touch with you in about a month with a significant update.